Hey everyone, and welcome back to All Out Fighting. I'm here today with British heavyweight Frazer Clarke, and it's not often we get to sit down with an Olympic medalist and dive into their life. So I'm really, really excited for this. Frazer, welcome.
Hello again, mate.
So look, I've watched a lot of your interviews, spoken to you loads over the years, and I know a lot about Frazer Clarke, the boxer, the guy that gets in the ring, the guy that preps. But let's go back. As far back as you want to go, let's go to little Frazer growing up. What was he like? What was 10-year-old Frazer like? What was life like?
10-year-old Frazer. It's probably going to shock a few people because of the nature of what I do. I was a little softy. I was afraid of my own shadow. Fighting was the last thing on my mind. I was overweight. I was a little fat kid, and I think that is some of the demons of me throughout my boxing career, as not being able to let go of being the little overweight kid that was last in every sport, was couldn't really do much, would be out of breath in every opportunity. So I think they were some demons through my adult life, which I had. Very, very, very not liking credit, not liking to give myself credit when I actually really deserve it. But grew up in Burton-on-Trent, you know, my little hometown, which I love, my safe place. If we're talking about my child, I really have to give a shout out to my family, my mum and dad, my brother and sister, hard-working, close-knit family in a little brewing town. So we spend loads of our time in the pubs, which is something I'm really proud of. You know, I'm the same pubs I still go to now. You know, I'm still very much the Frazer Clarke that grew up, you know, going in and out of the pub and to the chippy with my mum and dad. You know, like that is who I am, and it's all who I've always wanted to be. People see you on TV, people see you on big shows, people see you doing things that are a bit different. But the one thing they can guarantee is I'm still the same. You know, I never let anything go to my head. And I've achieved some great things. You know, I don't like talking about them, but I have really done some great things which not many people get the opportunity to do. But yeah, essentially I am the same lad and just a normal working class lad, but I have massive dreams. And I think the thing that separates me, makes me, if anything, different, I can't take no for an answer. I can't be told I can't do something. You know, that is something. There's something that just doesn't go well with me. You know, especially in terms of sport or in terms of achieving something. You know, if I put my mind to it, I can fly.
Okay, so you're 10 years old. You're, as you say, you're soft. You're scared of your own shadow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it, just because we obviously see you in the ring having 12-round wars. How did you get into boxing then? When did that shy kid go into a boxing gym for the first time?
So even though I was shy, I suppose you don't know when you're young, but I feel like I was always a popular guy. I always had a good group of friends, and we do every sport, you know, from football to rugby to even just going over the park, hide and seek, climbing trees, TIG, everything. I'd always take part. I would never let my disadvantages get in the way. Do you know what I mean? And then disadvantage, we'll talk about basically my weight and the fact that I was unfit and I couldn't really do stuff to the level. And I knew it was there. I can remember sports day at school not being able to do what the other kids could do because I'd be knackered and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I can always remember these moments. So I think once I found boxing, story behind me starting boxing is when them times there, I can remember we always used to, when I was a kid, we used to watch Mike Tyson. Me and Dad, Mike Tyson was like the guy when we never had Sky or nothing like that. So I can remember we always used to go to a friend's house early hours. That was the thing to look forward to. We'll go and watch Mike Tyson. And so amongst doing all these other sports, boxing is something that I always thought about, but never thought, you know, too much about it. Then it gets to the time where I'm going from the junior school up to high school.
Yeah.
My brother's already up there. Brother was a footballer, good level. Brother could let his hands go, and he was doing that at school a lot. I can remember coming home from school and my brother was talking to my mum. My mum was bringing him up to get my brother because he's been in trouble. He's fighting again. And I can remember almost thinking, oh my God, next year I'm going up there. And I can remember, I think one time conversation, it'll be all right next year. I'll have my brother with me. We'll basically be getting stuck in together. And I'm thinking, not me, mate. I couldn't punch my way out of a paper bag. And being overweight as well. As you get a bit older, I think obviously 11, 12, you start slowly understanding in order to lose weight, you need to exercise and stuff like that. So I think boxing was a perfect way to do that. My dad is from, he wasn't a boxer, but he trained and he's a fighting man. He's a tough man. You know, he's known for being tough. You know, when I was young, he could have a fight on the cobbles and stuff. So Dad take me down to the gym. So me and like 5 friends went to the boxing gym. And it was the only first time in my life I had some self-esteem. First time in my life, out of all these friends I went with, one was good at football, the other's the fastest lad in the school, the other was good at rugby, the other one's at swimming, got all these medals for swimming and stuff. We were at a young age as well. And it was me, I wasn't good at anything. It was the first time in my life, leaving that first session of boxing, I knew I'd picked it up and I did better than them. I knew it straight away. I just knew I could hold my hands up better than them. I was listening better than them. And I got the bug for it so bad. And then after 2 weeks, there was 4 friends, 3 weeks, 3 friends, so on. 20 odd years later, I was 11, 25 years later, there's just me. And it's I fell in love, I found my passion, and I've been so blessed and lucky to make that my life.
But when was it then that you first had that thought in your mind that this is what I'm going to do with life?
I'd probably say after the first... No. You have your first fight as an amateur. That was a buzz like never before.
When was that?
That was, I'd have been 14. I had my first fight. It was at Newdigate Boxing Club, Coventry. I can remember like yesterday, I took a minibus, myself, a few friends, the locals from the pub, mum and dad's friends. Went over there. I'm in little boxing shorts all just under my tits up here. And I stopped this kid, traveller kid, stopped him in the second round. And that, if I could bottle that feeling up and keep it, even as a kid, 14 years old, if anyone's lucky enough to ever experience that feeling, unbelievable. The first time in my life I felt like a winner, honest to God. It makes me emotional thinking about it now. I didn't win nothing till then. I was in the football teams with all the lads, my friends. I was the sub, come on, and players player of the season, all that kind of thing. It was an unbelievable feeling. I absolutely loved it. But then, as time goes on, it was difficult for me to get fights, because I was so young but so big.
Yeah.
I had my first fight at 93 kilo.
Really?
14.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can imagine I couldn't get a fight. So I was only having fights here and there. And then when I was 16, I went in national championships. Boxed a big favourite from Liverpool. Boom, knocked him out in 2 rounds, I think.
At this point, are you thinking?
No, I'm just doing it because I'm enjoying it. Then, so we're getting to like leaving school now. Mum and dad, working class, you better go and find an apprenticeship. So I started doing the welding and the machining locally. As like something, and I didn't even know what it was. I just needed an apprenticeship. I needed to do something. I wasn't very clever. I applied at all the big companies, couldn't get in anywhere. I think I wanted to be a Sparky at one point, but I just didn't have the brains for it. Ended up getting this apprenticeship. Listen, we'll do it. So I'm 16 now. Left school, kind of got this apprenticeship. I'm still training, but I've ended up winning these junior national title. Get a letter through the door from England Boxing. Oh, we'd like Frazer to come represent England. Oh, wicked. But I've took it around to my boxing club, and it's like, for them, it's like, oh my God. But I'm like, whatever. But this is huge. You know what I mean? This is huge. And obviously, I've watched Mir Khan win the silver medal at the Olympics, so I'm thinking, then they're telling me, look, this is like, the next steps is like to go this way here. So I'm thinking, bloody hell, that is quite big. So I carry on training, and then I go and box for England, do well. Then we do a round robin in Ireland. beat some more. I've only had 5 fights, bearing in mind. I think I beat some more experienced kids than me. Come back and think nothing of it. It was a great experience. Let me get back to work. So I'm back to work, back to training in the normal gym. Another letter comes through. Different letter this time, different envelope. This one's from GB Boxing, whatever that is. We would like Frazer to come on a talent finding weekend. We are looking for a super heavyweight boxer for Team GB. At this point now, I'm thinking, wait, this is a little bit more serious now. So I'm saying, look, I've asked, can I leave work early Friday? I'm going to Sheffield. Told the people at work, they're like, of course, go and enjoy yourself, thinking I'll be back next week. I've gone to Sheffield and I am 17, and then the next super heavyweight on this trial is like 22, 23. So I'm a baby. And they're asking us to do all these physical tests. The track, you've used the track before in the EIS, running around the track, I can't do a lap. Then we've got the bowl outside. Going around the bowl, I can't do a lap around the bowl. Pull-ups, can't do that. I can remember the rope from the roof, not a chance. But I could jab and I could throw 1-2 and I could use my feet a little bit. And I thought nothing of it. I thought it was going nowhere. To be honest, I thought, listen, everyone, these are all men, big airy men with tattoos. We sparred and I did fine because I was used to sparring. I punched up a few of them. But I thought nothing of it. I really didn't. I thought I did bad. But I can remember one trainer, Nigel Davis, his Welsh trainer, God rest his soul, he passed away last year. He says to me, what you lack in physical ability, you were a lot younger than these guys, you were the best technically out of these guys. You jab better than them, you move better than them. I just thought, oh, thank you. The week after, we would like to offer Frazer Clarke a time on the full-time podium squad at in GB Boxing at Sheffield. What does that mean? This basically means you come to Sheffield Monday to Thursday every week. We pay you a wage through a lottery funding grant, £1,000 a month. But that's massive money for me then. I was on apprentice wage. I was half of that. You travel the world to different boxing tournaments. It's a no-brainer. Mum, Dad, that's what I'm doing. Oh, you've only your first year in your apprenticeship. You should get, let's look at this after you've got your qualifications. I said, look, I can't well to save my life. I said, they'll probably be happy to see the back of me at this apprenticeship. I've got no enthusiasm about it. I don't enjoy it. The only thing it is for me is a good crack. The lads are top lads. I made some top friends when I was there, great blokes. But it's not for me. I want to go and pursue this. Mum and Dad, do what you got to do. That was it. Never looked back. I was in Sheffield then, and that was going to be my career. Then the next goal is the Olympic Games. And then I'm walking in this gym and looking around the wall. I'm seeing Aldi Harrison, know him. Know him, David Price, Frank, know him, James DeGale, know him. These guys at this time are like, they're big deals to me, do you know what I mean? Robin Reed, I remember him. Richie Woodall, I remember him. Oh my God. And there's a picture on it that said, this could be you. Okay, no, if I train here, I can get on that wall. Yeah. So that was the job and that was the focus.
You mentioned the Olympic, and obviously I'm going to dive into that journey because that's one full of up and downs, as I'm sure we'll get onto. But just quickly before we move on, that 14-year-old you who's in the ring after first fight, you said you mentioned that if you could bottle up that feeling, it's the best feeling in the world. What do you think that 14-year-old version of yourself would say to you today, knowing the things you've achieved?
Honestly, I think it'd say, well done, mate, you've done really well, but you've made some right cock-ups along the way and you could have done even better. Yeah, I think if I knew what I knew, if I knew now what I knew then, if I knew then what I know now, yeah, things could have been a little bit different. At least I'm very thankful to God for the position I'm in, the position I've put myself in life. but I think I could have done better.
What are some of those cock-ups? What are the things that stand out to you?
I think the FOMO, the fear of missing out, is something that you have to. If you want to be the best of the best. I'm talking your LeBrons, your Michael Jordans, your Cristiano Ronaldos, your Messis, your Usyks, your Lemonchenkos. You want to be the top of your field. Your Tom Brady. Then you have to get used to missing out. That is something that comes as part of the life. Whatever you hear or whatever your friends are doing, you ain't doing, mate. You ain't doing it. Simple as that. If you want to be in the 1%, the 0.5%, you can't do what the other 99% of people are doing. It's that simple. I sort of used to mix. You sort of used to float between the two. Used to float between the two. Maybe sometimes a little bit too much. Maybe I got it right sometimes. Sometimes I got it wrong. Do you know what I mean? I enjoyed normal life. I tried to find a balance. Now I know what I know. You can't have balance. It's got to be all there. Tiny little bit here.
You mentioned the Olympics. So, you go off to Team GB at 17, I think it was you said. And then you start your journey to the Olympics, right? And you have this dream of going to the Olympics Games, winning a gold medal. It takes you 3 attempts to get there. In 2012, Anthony Joshua gets the nod. In 2016, Joe Joyce gets the nod. What was that journey like? And was there a time through that, after the first time of not getting there, after the second time, was there a point in that journey when you just thought, this dream is just not going to happen for me?
Yeah, plenty of times. I could only credit my family for one. My role model and sort of mentor, Team GB head coach, Rob McCracken. I spent a lot of time with him. The coaches on Team GB and my teammates, they take all the credit. So these stories are like, the first one with Anthony Joshua, we'll mention him first because obviously I've got on the squad in 2010, I think, 2009, 2010. I've got onto the GB squad. My plan is to go to the Olympics. When you get on that squad, I'm not sure how it is now, but what I was told was when we first got on this squad, we sat down, just to let you guys know, this is no longer a boxing club. You don't come here voluntarily. You are selected to be here. If you are not performing how we want you to perform, you'll be asked to leave. So that is a pressure straight away. Your goal is that wall there to put your face on it. That is the top and bottom of it. You have other tournaments, Worlds, Europeans, Commonwealth Games, and they're all fantastic. But now I know, obviously now I'm older, in order for this to carry on and get this funding, we need your face to be on that wall. You need to win Olympic medals. So if you think this is a joke and fun and game and you want to be here for a bit of a joke and a bit of you're away from your family, you're in Sheffield, you're with the lads in a hotel, you're travelling the world with some lads, you're having a few boxing matches here and there, don't matter if you win or you lose, get out your head. That's not why you're here. You're here to be a winner. That's the mentality. So I'm in it, all right? I've made the choice, I'm here. 2011, I need more experience still. I'm on the squad, but I still need more experience. Been to a couple of tournaments, did all right. Won one fight, lost in the next. Maybe picked up a bronze medal somewhere. But then my club coach said, listen, we need to get some more fights. We'll get some fights in England. We've got a home show coming up. No worries. I'm going to get your opponents, easy opponent. You on your home show, you get a victory. No worries. Day before, he's pulled out. Said, listen, I've sold 300 tickets in a home show, 30 seconds from my house, local. The whole town's coming to watch me. Get me an opponent. No worries. Ringing around on Warrior, ringing around. Got you a kid. No worries. Bring it. Who is it? What? It don't matter who it is. Just make sure he's there. Yeah. A Joshua from Finchley, London. No worries, whatever. This is when it gets funny. So amateur weigh-in, you do usual thing. You stand on the scales. You wait in a big line. You stand on the scales. I'm sweating here. I'm like, no, opponent's turned up. You sort of weigh people up, don't you? He's a middleweight. He's a lightweight. you can't miss the heavyweight. He's a mile off, can you? No one's turned up. So I'm just gonna weigh in. I'm just gonna weigh in. Hopefully he'll be here later. Weigh in. Let me get out of the way for a bit because I'm gonna be on last anyway. Heavyweights, you know how it goes. Anyway, I stood on these scales. Got my pants up over me gut. Little titties. Not a Muslim body. I'm on Team GB, mind you. I'm standing on these scales, 110 kilo, whatever it was. This shadow's come over me, mate. I'm not shitting you. Shadows come over me. I've turned round, and there is a guy who felt like he was 6'10", chiseled, staring into my eyes. He looked like it looks like he's been hitting the weights in jail for the last 5 years, and he is staring straight through me. Took a gulp. Take it, that's my opponent then. Yeah, this is Joshua. Good to see you, mate. You know. Anyway, so gone out of there. We end up fighting. I've come out first. Yeah, the crowd's going crazy. Yeah, balcony. He's like, yeah, big Frazer, local lad, Frazer. Anyway, I'm in the ring. And his opponent in the blue corner, Anthony A. Joshua from Finchley. He's walked out. I'm not joking you. Oh, I heard it. Oh my God. Anyway, so we end up fighting. We end up having a fight. We had a really good fight, actually, a really good dust up, which I've tried my hardest to get footage of. No, you know, it's a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time. Anyway, he's won the fight on a majority decision. I've gone back to Sheffield. So I lost in a club show. Last week. I'm really sorry. I know I should be losing to people that aren't on the squad. Like, it looks bad, don't it? Oh, it's all right, no worries. Anyway, 2 weeks later, Josh was walked through the door at Sheffield, and I'm thinking, all right, here we go. It was a serious problem. This. I thought, you know what? We're gonna compete. We're gonna compete to see who goes to the Olympics. I know he's beat me, but we're gonna compete. A month in, 2 months in, I often knew. There's no the rate he was progressing at, mate. There wasn't going to be no competition. I was still struggling to get around that track, mate. And he was flying. He was picking up in it from it. He was a student. He was hungry. He was fit. He was possessed, and the rate of improvement was so impressive. So that one didn't really hurt me too much because it was obvious straight away. Do you know what I mean? It was. He went to some tournaments. Some of the tournaments I went to, he went to, and he was winning gold medals early on. Knocking people out. I was scraping through with the bronze and losing in the semis and this and that. So that was obvious. You know, I had no issue with that. It became training partners, sparring with each other for the whole games and working with each other on the squad together. No issue. So that was 2012. Dream's gone. But coaches have said to me, listen, you've got plenty of time to develop. You know, 4 years' time is a long time. You can develop. Work on this, work on that, blah, 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 blah. No worries. So I'm in a contract, another 4 years in the amateurs, no worries. Right, this year, all fighters on GB squad, you're all going in the ABAs. You know, to see you the best in the country, you got to prove yourself. We need 2 each weight on the team, so you go in the ABAs, and no worries, not bothered. Boom, pinging everyone, gone through all, I think three or four fights. End up in the final, boxing a York Hall, the final, boxing a guy from London, Joe Joyce. No worry, I seen him box. I was watching the other semi-finals. Seen him box in the Londons. He's big, he's stiff, he's slow. Oh mate, he was like a machine. He was like the Terminator. He's fit. So he beat me in the ABAs. Stopped me actually. The fight got stopped. My eye blew up massive. He thumb in the eye. But he's there. So then. Naturally, he's beat the GB representative. He gets his trials. He's going to come on the squad. I knew he was going to come on the squad anyway. You know, by this time, I've sussed out how it works. But I thought I'm better than him. So, but anyway, we ended up boxing another 3. We had boxed 4 times. I can't get a win over him. I boxed Joe Joyce 4 times. He's beat me 4 times. 1 stoppage on an eye injury. 1 I thought I'd won, and 2 more times he beat me. 2 ABA finals, a GB championship final, and one other occasion I think. So yeah, couldn't get the victory over him. But we've still got 2 years yet. This is like last time boxing was 2014 and the Olympics is 2016. 2 years, I can make up 2 years. 2015, I go down my best year as an amateur. Went to 5 tournaments, won 5 gold medals, beat great fighters on the way, beat Tony Yoka, Guido Vianello, Sergei Kuzmin. I beat some real good fighters, won 5 gold medals, 15 fights unbeaten. It's a great season as an amateur. The problem was Joe he was above me because he'd beat me in the ABAs. And as I'm winning all these medals, he's also going to tournaments and winning as well. So I couldn't bridge the gap. As much as I tried, I couldn't bridge the gap. So then it comes down to crunch time. I think all the coaches have a decision to make on who's going to be the representative for the Olympic Games, who's going to go to the qualifier. Because you got to qualify first, remember. And I can remember being dragged into the office and the news, they were dead honest with me because that's what I always like. You've done fantastic the last couple of years. You've really put the work in, but Joe has got medals in the Europeans. He's got a world medal. He's been to the majors and he's won all the majors. You've won all your tournaments, we've won the majors. For that reason, we can't not send him to the qualifiers. So suck it up like a man. I'm thinking if he goes to qualifiers and loses, I'm going to stay fit. I'll go to the next one. I'll have my chance. I think I lost the vote probably 3-2 or something like that. 3 people said send him and 2. So listen, he's gone to the qualifiers. I watched it in my dad's man cave at the bottom of the garden, watched his fight. Won his first one, then his qualifying fight. I think they're in Turkey. I'm watching it on like a BBC stream. I'm being optimistic. It's a good first round, close second round. Third round, he'd won. I knew before the decision he's qualified for the Olympic Games. I was heartbroken, mate. I was heartbroken. I sat in that man cave, crying my eyes out like a baby. Crying my eyes out. I was gutted. My dream was over.
Thinking about quitting?
Yeah. My dream was over, mate. You know, like I wanted to go to the Olympic Games so bad. My dream was over because. And I put it down to that ABA loss in 2014. I couldn't bridge the gap because other than that, I was perfect. After them, I was perfect. So it was a hard one to take. It was only, again, I knew what the Olympic Games does for you in terms of your pocket and in terms of your popularity and my dream as well. So I've almost gone to back to Sheffield when the lads are back to almost say, look, thank you so much, everyone. That's me done. After some strong words with Rob McCracken and a few conversations, he swayed me, and not for selfish reasons. It was the right reasons. You know, I was thinking of turning pro. If I turned pro, then we wouldn't be sat here now.
No.
So I wouldn't be boxing now. That's the reality of it. We had some good conversations. I ended up going out to Rio to help Joe Joyce. Sparring for the Olympics, you know, selfless of myself. But at this point, I'm like 8 years in to Team GB, and I'm invested in. Yeah. I'm invested in getting the funding for the lads. I'm invested in the team doing well. So just went out there and did that, and then I come back and I said, "Oh, Rob, mate, I've got my first kid on the way, so I can't survive on the funding. The money's not enough." I said, "Look, we'll have a conversation. We'll see what we can do." Turns out I ended up getting a really good sponsor with the help of people from GB, and it allows me to say it can have another crack at the whip, one last crack at the whip. 4 years time, go to Tokyo, attempt to go to Tokyo. Another guy comes on the squad, Solomon Dawson. I think, oh my God, here we go again. He's decent as well, by the way. And in that period, Daniel DeBar is on the squad as well. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm got to go through it again. And it's going to be hard work because Daniel DeBar, he put me down in sparring once. He's sparring with AJ. He's sparring with me. Who's this kid? Unbelievable. Anyway, he turns pro. Thank fucking God. You know what I mean? Thank God for that. And the Solomon comes on. Solomon's a good competitive fighter. We're doing well. But I felt like I always had the edge in terms of boxing ability, and I'd pick up the wins against some of the better operators in the division. Won a load of medals leading up to Tokyo. I got the nod for the qualifiers in Tokyo. COVID comes along, pisses on us for another year. So it's longed out, prolonged. End up going to Paris, qualifying for Olympic Games. Best feeling in the world, dream come true.
What is that feeling like? So after the journey you've been on, the setbacks, go again, the setbacks, go again. Describe the feeling of when you're getting that medal put round your neck after that 10-year journey in Team GB.
So you can ask a few Olympians. I'm sure you'll interview loads of other people on here. And if you ever get to any more Olympic medalists, for me, the feeling of qualifying was better than the feeling of getting the medal. And I'll explain to you why as we go on. But that feeling of qualifying, just to know that, first of all, you're an Olympian, you're there. I did it in Paris. I boxed against a Turkish kid who was tough as nails. My qualifying bout after a year. Remember COVID? So we went to the tournament. The Olympic qualifier was supposed to be in London, supposed to be at East London. And we, box pot, whatever it's called, I can't think what it's called, in there. As we're in that tournament, that fight week, Peter McGrail and Galal Yafayev qualified. That was the start of COVID. The tournament got caught. The tournament got stopped because COVID. Right, you've all got to go home. Went into lockdown as I was at the tournament.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Crazy. So 2 of the lads had qualified. We're all waiting for fights. I was fighting that day or the next day. I was supposed to fight an Italian guy, Clemente Russo. So what's going on? Well, all go home. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Anyway, cool. Listen, the COVID virus is here. Don't leave your house, blah, blah, blah. Then to the news on the next day, lockdown. So then we're going back and forth, emails and stuff. Anyway, we start training again. What happens is they pause the tournament. Yeah. You're going to box exactly who you're supposed to box, but in a year's time. So I had a year to prepare for 9 minutes of a fight, which is crazy, isn't it? And then we end up going and qualifying. Yeah, and then we go over to Tokyo, and my Olympic medal feeling is a bit different to everyone else. It's a bit of a, I've just felt like I've never had my moment yet as a pro, as an amateur or a pro. Never had my defining moment because I won my first fight. I felt fantastic. I felt in the best shape ever. I beat a Ukrainian, and he was good, and he was beating a few people along the way, so I beat him, and I felt really good. The next fight we're going to fight is against a guy which I fought 4 times, Murad Aliyev. Really good fighter, and big southpaw. No one likes him. He just beat me in the final of the qualifying tournament in France, which he's French. Was controversial, but before that I'd beat him 3 times. He'd always do me in sparring, but the thing I liked about fighting him was I always won. So I didn't mind fighting him. But I knew Olympic Games, he's up for it. Anyway, we have a really good, first round. He gets pointed, he's putting his head in a few times, cut me. Anyway, he gets disqualified. That was my fight to go into the semi-finals. So let's give me a bronze medal. And if you remember, I don't know if you remember the big controversy, he wouldn't get out of the ring. He caused a big stir. So I didn't really I couldn't really celebrate the fact that I got a bronze because it was under disqualification.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I couldn't really.
The moment
was taken from me. And then I'm thinking, right, my next fight, bear in mind, so now he cut as bad cuts. I had 2 cuts, a cut above this eye and a cut above this eye. So the next fight, I was going into the fight with the other semi-finalist, Jalalov from Uzbekistan. He's the Olympic favourite, current world champion. But I'm going there with two cuts above my eyes. So I'm thinking, it's going to be hard work, this. He's current favourite, but I'm going to go and get in there and give it everything. It's COVID. It's the Olympic semi-final. You're 2 fights away from gold, which is history. As soon as I got in the ring, as I was bouncing around, I could feel my eye dripping. Anyway, we were close first round. I've given him a standing count in a second. 3rd round, I've come out. He's hit me with a shot. My eyes burst, basically even more. Bearing in mind, I'm in the fight now. I'm trying to be on the blind side of the referee. I'm trying to play it crafty because I know as soon as he sees my face, he's going to stop me. I've got my hand here like this. I'm trying to be on the blind side of him, worrying about his 6'7" southpaw who can punch in front of me. Anyway, referee's seen it. waved it off. At that moment now, I've looked up to the corner. There's probably 15 of my teammates, staff, all masked up, COVID. I knew it was over. That was the last punch I was going to throw as an amateur. I knew it after all them years. But I got my bronze medal, but it was just gutting because I really wanted the gold.
So it sounds like when you talk about winning the bronze medal, it's almost like a little bit of disappointment in your voice, right? And you mentioned the 14-year-old you, and you had your first fight and the dreams of going to the Olympics. If Olympic bronze is the peak of your career, would you look back on it and say it's been a success? Or would you be of the mind, I should have done more?
Oh, it's a great question. I should have done more in the pros than I've done already at the stage I'm at. There should have been a few titles under my belt. For whatever reason, there's not. But if it all ended tomorrow and I couldn't box again, Olympic bronze medalist is a fantastic thing to have. It's an unbelievable achievement. I always use this analogy. If we put everyone in the world as a red dot and then we put the Olympic medalist as a blue dot, there's not many of us, you know. I've done something fantastic. I made history for my town, Burton-on-Trent, history for my family, and history for the nation. So it's something I'm really proud of.